Hey game makers! Welcome back to DevLog 7! Actually, speaking of options, I had a fun conversation with my brother the other day. He was asking me, Valencia Games, was asking me about doing their options menu. And I'm like, oh, Yawnfly has an options plugin, you should use it. I haven't used it, but I've played with it and it looks cool, but, he gets back to me like an hour later, like, yeah, this is awesome, you should use it. I'm like, oh, so now you're recommending it to me, this is great. So, because I have so many options, which map am I on? Why do I keep wanting to go to that map? Let's go to... that's a cutscene. This isn't a cutscene. This map isn't quite finished. I need to put puzzles in. Okay, so as we've previously established in many videos at this point, I have a lot of options. Now, originally I wasn't gonna have this many, so I didn't need to have like an entire options menu for it. But given how many I have, if I get any more than this, heck, even maybe just with this, I might consider using it. I feel like there was a reason I didn't, because I had it in my thing and I know that I tried it. But I feel like maybe it was just incompatible with something I was using, or something. But that is something I'm considering doing, is updating to the Yawnfly options menu, because it is really cool. Given that this will load after you leave the scene, I don't think that would be a problem. I don't know if you can call script calls through it, or if it's just with variables and switches. But, that's all the rest of this stuff is just switches and variables getting turned on and off. This is the only one of consequence, so that should be not a problem. I'll probably do that. But we'll see, I haven't gotten to it yet. It's just a thought at this point, but it's a thing to consider at the very least. Now, I mentioned Mode 7 a few minutes ago, and, we're not quite at the really cool thing to talk about at the very least, but I was doing, the world map, which I am planning to use Mode 7 with, and it mostly works. It's redundantly big at the moment, and I'm going to revise it. Like, I do not need all this empty space, and I'm sure that it's causing me lag just being there. But, I guess I could see if it loads. I'm attempting to use, something along the lines of little mountain events to give it a little bit more depth. In the original, I had height map mode 7, which was 3D. It came a lot with performance issues, but it was cool and I wanted it, so I used it. In this case, it's just flat mode 7 with some cool camera stuff thrown in. But I have noticed, for whatever reason, mode 7 runs a lot better when it's not in display mode. Let's see if I can load it. So I'm going to revise it right now. It has a lot of lag because of all of my little evented, so right now it does have a lot of performance issues. Actually, this is running surprisingly well, given that, oh, no, there we go. Mode 7 seems incredibly variable at the moment. So I'm going to make the map smaller, see if I can condense it a lot. This was mainly a test to make sure everything would work. Everything that I wanted to do anyway. So, the frames! It's a lot worse right now because I'm recording. But that is the wow. I can feel the frames hating me right now. Anyway, so that won't be a problem once I get the lag worked out. It'll be fine. Not much really happens on the overworld, and all of the stuff that I need for it is already set up. I wanted to make sure I got most of that done in advance, just in case it was a performance issue. At the moment, I'm still using MV tiles that are, I think, slightly modified to some extent. But this can all be changed out later. At least with the tiles, it's an easy swap. It's not like you have to redo an entire map or anything. So that's good. It's all just test for now, but it works. It will work. I haven't had any problems with Mode 7 or compatibility. As of the most recent version, I haven't had any issues with it. Now, the cool thing, okay, I am really happy with this. So, my game has two segments that I call Mode7-Theater. And that is where you get these little plays that tell their own little story. And that's pretty much all they are. They're meant to sort of break the, not really break the tedium, but just to mix it up a bit, you know? So, in the original, which, is somewhere here, this one? Okay, so the original, yeah, kids, stop talking, I need to get to the point here. The original, it lags so hard. So I am quite happy because this one does not. This one does not lag at all. And I am so happy because this one has like no lag at all. It's so smooth. Okay, so I can't do 3D beds like I did in the original because I can't do height maps. But it just is so smooth, and I'm just so happy about that. And that's all you get to see, because it's super awesome. So that's finished. That took me about 3 days total to make, and it's just so... it was so long. You know, the cutscene itself's only 8 to 10 minutes long, but it's just... There are so many like little camera tweaks you need to do to make it cool and stuff. So, it's definitely an improvement over the original that just lagged like crazy and was just, they're fun. I loved the originals, and these are just not laggy at all. And that's just what I'm so, I cannot overstate how happy I am that there is no lag on these things. I am not looking forward to doing the second one, because the second one is substantially longer, and I mean substantially. Okay, this one, it's like 3 maps, okay? Each representing their own little scene. The other one, this one? Is this many maps? Why doesn't that have a thing? I swear it's like a 30-minute scene all on its own. It's intentional, and I might actually see if I can shorten it just a bit. But that scene is just so long. That one is totally optional. This one's mandatory, but the 30-minute one is totally optional. You don't need to do it. There's nothing you gain from doing it except this nice little cinematic event. So yeah, Mode7-Theater is probably one of my favorite parts. It's just great. For those who haven't played, I'm not going to spoil what it is or what it's about, just that Akira and friends happen upon a play that they somehow have to do for some reason. So that's that. One little thing that I did. So in the original, and in this one too, you can collect the costumes and you can collect the pictures. And, the game doesn't really direct you where to get any of them, at all. But the game does come with, the original did come with a guide on where to get them. Now, I'm gonna do the same thing in this one. It's gonna come with a guide, or possibly DLC Ultimate Guidebook Guide, like I did with the first game, EM rather. That'll tell you where to get everything. But at the very least, for the pictures, I have this girl, who's not gonna do anything for me, because she's a jerk and I need money. So, she's the little fortune teller girl. She'll tell your fortunes of who's ever in your party. I don't know, because I don't have a 4th party member. I wonder if I could change that. What happens if I... I didn't think I thought that through. Okay, so that's clearly intentional. But you can ask her about the pictures, and she'll tell you where to find them for a price. And then you just input the number of the picture you're looking for. You can open the menu and see which ones you don't have, or you can, just put them in at random. because she steals my money. And then she'll ask you if you want to do it again. So she'll give you directions on where to find some of them. Art collection. So they're all numbered here. You can check which ones you need. Right now she won't react if you already have them. She'll just tell you anyway. I might change that. She might. I'm numbering them now for a specific reason I'll get to in a second. But well, at least you didn't take my money that time. But what happens when you collect all of the pictures is actually I have it set so that they show up in. I have so many maps. Kira's room. Are you gonna? Yeah, okay. So, when you get the pictures, I need to know which numbers these are. Whoops. 10381, okay. Variable 3. What? Oh, switch. We're doing switches. There we go. Let's see. 10, 1, sure. So the ones that you've collected will actually appear up here. Well, up there. Now, I don't know if I'm going to keep this. I like the idea, but I can't make the pictures any bigger than that, and they seem really small then. But maybe. It looks pretty cool when you've got them all up there. Just kind of like a nice little thing. At the end game, I'm thinking of moving them somewhere else due to a specific scene that happens at the very, very final moment of the game. I'm thinking of moving them to whatever map that ends up being. So they might not stay here, they might, I don't know. But I think that'll work better. I just don't know if I'm going to keep them in both places or not. But that's a cool little thing I wanted to do. My original thought was just having them around the house here. But I ran out of space. There are like so many of those. So that's the thing. I mentioned, I think at the start of the video, or maybe it was one of the takes that I didn't do because I could not get the intro to this down at all. I implemented another preloader, and it's so I was using the TDTP loader. Mine's slightly modified to work for my needs, but I am using this one now, some random dudes, because it has a lot of options. This is the actual preloader. Requires this, because everything requires a prerequisite plugin. Anyway, I'm using this because I was having the most annoying issue where I would load a map with the vocal sound effects on it, the voice sounds, the voice clips, and the map wouldn't entirely load them. So the event would start playing, and the sound effects would play, but the sound effects would, how should I explain this? Okay, so I have the text, let's take Annika here, for example. Pretend this was on auto run and activated as soon as you entered the map. What would happen is I would play a song, let's say, which I guess is auto playing. But for this example, let's say it played a song, and it would screw this up, but the sound effects, because the song was still loading, or because my costumes were still loading, the sound effects would be completely skipped. So my message thing that's set to rememberize that, not really remember, but take notice that a sound effect is playing, will just completely skip the sound effect. Which was annoying, because what would happen is you'd load a map and it would just skip this many sound effects, and then it's like, oh, you can start playing sound effects again. Or worse, it would just play all of them completely, and like not register the stop sound effects, and just completely like go through all of this with the auto text scrolling, and it was just a pain in the butt. To my understanding, it does that because MV does not prioritize sound effects at all. So if they don't load, whatever. But when you're using them as voice clips, it kind of creates a bit of an issue. So I implemented this and set sound effects to important. So far it seems to have helped. So far it seems like the game won't proceed until the sound effects are loaded. which is what I wanted, which worked out well, which hopefully fixes the problem. I'm also having another issue with MB. You may have experienced this. Some people have, some people haven't, with their own projects or mine. I don't know. Just in general, MB. It doesn't load music very fast. You might walk into a map and it'll take a few literal seconds for the song to play. And normally, that's fine. It's not the biggest deal in the world, you know? If the song is inconsequential, you won't even notice it right away. But in this particular issue, I was having the same problem where I would play a song, and then the song would take this long to load, which bypasses my volume control. I'm setting the volume separately for cutscenes, so the player can determine it if they want it louder or quieter. I'd like to do it just for voice clips, but it's just a lot easier for me with the resources available to do the music itself. So I'm using a common event to control the volume of the song. But what happens when the song isn't fully loaded is it bypasses this and plays it at normal volume. So I was like trying to manually do all the things and it wasn't working. So I tried a few things. I came across a plugin that is theoretically supposed to help, and it did. It's a song leg fix thing. But it's incompatible with everything I'm using. So I played with it for all of 5 seconds before it was giving me a bunch of errors. I think it's incompatible with my volume control plugin. Which negates the point of why I need to fix it. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing right now. I have it set up so it's not a huge issue the way I'm doing it right now. I'm taking it into account. It's just feels really hacksawed together by doing it this way. It works, but it's not the most optimized way of doing it. I don't have a good way of doing it, I guess is what I'm saying. It works though, so there's that if I can't figure something better out. I assume I'll figure something better out, but we'll see. I don't know. Now, I feel like there's a lot more I could talk about. I've got so much done this month. But most of it's just the cutscenes and the entirety of Chapter 2. Like I said, I've got the monsters left to do. They're next on my list, so I'm probably gonna do them after I'm done editing these videos. But I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about for now. Yeah, I've got to input skill data too. Skills and monsters are not my favorite thing in the world. It's why I don't usually go to the extreme on, my battle systems or anything like that. They are not the part of game development that appeals to me the most. It's obviously characters and eventing and writing stories and music and stuff. But it's gotta be done, so yeah. At the very least, doing enemy sprites, which is something I did in EM1, and this will be my second game doing them. Whoa! It at least gives me experience designing monsters, to some extent or another. And then there's the skills. I'm not looking forward to them because you have to do action sequences for all of them. The issue here is mainly I have to design them, or at least I want to design them, more similarly to the ones I want to design them in a similar fashion to their original counterparts, but it's such a pain to do that, to make them such specific like that. So I've been neglecting to them. Luckily, Chapter 2 has one dungeon in the entirety of however long it is, so yeah, there's that. A couple boss fights though, well, There's that one epic boss fight where the bad guy shows up and decides to end game already. That was a good one. But yeah, that'll be next, is the monsters. I need a break from cutscenes anyway, and I'm sure doing monsters will make me remember how much I love cutscenes. So, I said burnt out earlier, that's not really how it is. It's just, I feel like I've just done so many of them in a row because I haven't had anything to break the tedium of. I did these maps. That is all. Aside from that, because I did Merrick first and then the city immediately after, everything was pretty much already done except the cutscenes, and it was just, here's a cutscene, here's a cutscene, here's a cutscene. Ugh, so many cutscenes. Luckily the next area is much more dungeon plot and dungeon heavy, exploration heavy, less 10 zillion cutscenes. So there's that. I guess I need a world map battle background too. The battle backgrounds are all done for everything except this. For what I have anyway. Anyway, I feel like I'm running long now, so I have one final question for you all. In the EM1, I used shinies to indicate flavor text and items and hidden stuff. Now I'm doing the same thing in this game, but I'm, at the moment, only having it on for, like, the hidden items and hidden costumes, and just, you know, hidden stuff you can actually click on. But I wasn't planning on doing it for flavor text. Now, I've written very minimal flavor text for that very reason. Do you think it would be better to have an indicator for all of that stuff and flavor text? Now, I can use a different shiny, sparkle, whatever, for flavor text. That refers to, like, I'm talking to this bookcase. The bookcase wants to tell me all these neat things about the world, as opposed to you got an item or anything like that. I don't know how I want to handle it. I don't know if I want sparkles on everything or not, because you can toggle it in the menu. Heck, I could just have a separate toggle for it, I suppose. But, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you'd want it on everything, or if you think that'd be, like, way too overkill. Anyway, I'm rambling now, so that is a good time for me to shut up. Again, everyone, I hope you have a super great 2019, and I just hope it's the most amazing thing in the world, and I love you guys. I love you all. Let me just hug my microphone. Actually, I shouldn't do that, because it'll break. The wire is the most finicky thing in the world. Anyway, let me just give you a virtual hug, because I love you so much. Thank you for watching this. It means the world to me. And I am way too awkward to be trying to say this on a non-scripted video. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later, gamers!